workers. We do the work. And we deserve a government that works with and for us.
A socialist is on the verge of becoming the next mayor of Buffalo, New York, as Democratic Socialist candidate India Walton stunned four-term Buffalo Mayor Byron Brown in the Democratic primary. Now, Walton currently leads Brown 52% to 45% with almost all the votes in, but Brown has yet to concede because he's waiting for the absentee ballots to come in. But with a 7-point lead for Walton right now, it seems very unlikely, based on all reporting, that Brown will be able to catch up, meaning that Walton will win this Democratic primary and go on to win the election in the fall, as Buffalo is heavily Democratic, so whoever wins this primary is expected to go on to become the next mayor of Buffalo, New York. So India Walton, socialist, going to become the next mayor of Buffalo, New York. Now, you may be wondering, what does this all mean? What makes her a socialist? What is she fighting for? Well, I'm going to start by showing you a couple of clips after her victory. So one is from her speech, and the other is her answering a question from a reporter that asks her, do you consider yourself to be a socialist?
All that we are doing in this moment is claiming what is rightfully ours. We are the workers. We are the workers. We do the work. And we deserve a government that works with and for us.
Yourself a socialist?
Oh, absolutely. The entire intent of this campaign is to draw down power and resources to the ground level and to the hands of the people. And when we think about socialism, we're perfectly fine with socialism for the rich. We will bail out Wall Street and banks and give $1 billion in tax incentives to one of the richest people in the world to build an empty Tesla factory in South Buffalo. And when it comes to providing the resources that working families need to thrive, socialism becomes scary at that point. So I'm very proud to be a Democratic Socialist. I am proud to have the support of Buffalo DSA and National DSA. I received a call from Congresswoman AOC this evening, and I'm just excited to be a part of this movement that is ushering progressive politics into Buffalo. Being the third poorest mid-sized city in this country, we should be considering how we begin to eradicate concentrated poverty and disadvantage, and Democratic Socialist leanings are a big step in getting us there.
All right, so I have more information and another clip coming up, but I already love her. I mean, this is somebody who is unafraid to call herself a Democratic Socialist, stands up for the working class. She knows who she is. She knows what she's fighting for. She's unafraid to say it. This is so rare in politics, to have a politician actually be vocal about standing up for the working class, isn't trying to, placate the established powers, and that'll become even more clear in the next clip. But before I get there, she did mention AOC, how AOC congratulated her. AOC put out this tweet that gives a little more backstory to India Walton that I find really interesting. So AOC says here, Walton became a mother at 14 years old. She earned her GED while pregnant with twins. She graduated, became a registered nurse, and then a representative in her union, then directed a community land trust. Tonight, it seems Buffalo may be making her mayor. Just an incredible backstory here, and I'm sure we'll learn a lot more about her as time goes on. But to get a little more into who Walton is and what she stands for, this from the New York Times. Should Miss Walton, 38, win the primary and then triumph in the general election in November, a likely result in heavily Democratic Buffalo, she would be the first socialist mayor of a major American city since 1960, when Frank P. Zeidler stepped down as Milwaukee's mayor. She would also be the first female mayor in Buffalo's history. In her first 100 days, Walton has promised to sign a tenants' bill of rights that would install a tenant advocate and institute rent control. She wants to remove police from responding to most mental health calls. She plans to declare Buffalo a sanctuary city. She would be the first woman to be Buffalo's mayor. While there are other radical mayors in the United States, Walton would be the only socialist mayor in a major city. Incumbent Brown has refused to debate Walton, so she's had to work hard to push herself in front of voters. She drew cheers while asking people to vote for her during Buffalo's Porch Fest, a community music festival modeled after an event in Ithaca, and visited voters in the tight community on the east side where she grew up. So you have a situation here where the current mayor wouldn't even debate Walton. So, I mean, name recognition really is half the battle when it comes to defeating an incumbent. So not even being able to, debate Brown and have her name put out there, she had to organize with members all across the region to be able to defeat a four-term incumbent, and clearly did so by speaking to the working class and their needs and what they want to see done in Buffalo. And that's just incredible. And I'll have a little more on her agenda coming up as well. But first, let me get to the second clip here, which is just, it shows you that Walton is here to fight against the established powers.
I hate to say I told you so. This is Buffalo, and it's not lost on me that we have a very entrenched Democratic Party that has no interest in our type of politics. So from the very beginning, last year, when I brought my island of misfit toys together, we were well aware that we were going to have to do things non-traditionally, outside of the system, in the middle of a pandemic. This is organizing. If you are in an elected office right now, you are being put on notice. We are coming.
Yes.
Tell me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like!
How could you not love this woman? Here's somebody who is openly fighting the Democratic Party in her city, because the Democratic Party has not represented the working class. This is what happens when you have deeply democratic districts and states. What ends up happening is the established powers take over. Corporations take over. So because there is no fear of a Republican defeating them, Democrats know they're going to win regardless. So what ends up happening is, massive corporations, the wealthy, end up pouring a ton of money into these races to get their pro-corporate candidate to win. But you've had here a situation where Buffalo has woken up to that and rallied around a working class fighter, somebody who is unabashedly fighting for the working class, is unafraid of the Democratic Party, and is openly saying, you are being put on notice. We are coming for you. This is the kind of energy that the left needs. And, often when you have a progressive candidate, in their victory speeches, they become a lot more conciliatory and, try to placate both sides. But here you have somebody who understands that the problem is that the power is not in the hands of the working class. The power is concentrated in the hands of the few at the top. And why placate that side when they are actively fighting you and have been fighting you for decades? So here you have an actual fighter for the working class and someone who's willing to take on the rest of the representatives in political office that are representing the corporate and established powers. So just incredible here. And I'll link to all those clips below the video so you can watch them over again, because they are fantastic clips, a fantastic speech. Let me get to, though, a little more on, before I end this video, I just want to give you a little more overview on what India Walton is fighting for in Buffalo and how she envisions the city. So she did an interview with Jacobin, and she said this. Quote, "The Buffalo that I envision is one free from militarized and hostile policing, one where there is ample and truly affordable housing, where there are opportunities for collective ownership and cooperative employment, where folks are working for organizations that they have an ownership stake in, I want to live in a deeply democratic city where all voices are heard, including those who are not able to vote, whether it's because of their age or their immigration status. The leadership of the city should govern everyone who lives here. So my dream for Buffalo is just that, a state of deep democracy and co-governance where everyone is valued and can thrive. And this really goes to the idea of what democratic socialism is about. It's about fighting for everybody, fighting for the working class. You know, there's been so much misinformation about the term socialism over the years that people have been afraid to really engage with what that means and what these candidates are fighting for and what people who are socialists are fighting for. So it's important to have more high profile socialists like this so that people can actually learn and understand that socialism is not a scary term, but actually means that you will have more freedom. You will have more democracy. So clearly here, India Walton is a great representative of that. And I'm excited to see what she does with Buffalo. One last thing here. Of course, I saw this online. I had to share it. Democratic Socialist mayoral victory moments. 1981. Bernie Sanders. Of course, former mayor of Vermont. And, I mean, Burlington, Vermont. And here, of course, India Walton on her victory day. So just incredible. There have not been enough socialist mayors of major American cities, but maybe this is an indication of more to come.